The author closes Hebrews by reminding us to love God and to love one another. Isn't that beautiful? May the Lord help us, not just to read those words, but to truly receive this love as our strength. Verse 1 encourages us that this love should not be temporary, but enduring. It is not just words, but must be demonstrated through tangible deeds. That's why verse 2 exhorts us to show hospitality to strangers. A stranger is someone unfamiliar, someone passing through, someone who may never repay your kindness. If we think back to the time of this passage, in those times, inns were rare, and many had a bad reputation, so traveling believers often relied on the hospitality of fellow Christians. God encourages us that when we extend such love, we may unknowingly be welcoming angels. Let's look at Matthew 10 verse 40 to 42. This is where Jesus says, "Whoever receives you receives me, and whoever receives me receives him who sent me." Do you realize that when we welcome believers, we are actually welcoming Jesus himself? Verse 41 continues, "The one who receives a prophet because he is a prophet will receive a prophet's reward, and the one who receives a righteous person because he is a righteous person will receive a righteous person's reward." So not only are we welcoming Jesus, but there is also a reward. In verse 42, Jesus says that if we give even a cup of cold water to one of his little ones because they are his disciple, we will certainly not lose our reward. This is something I really want to highlight. We place a high value on privacy and convenience. We have our own lives and schedules, and as a result, fewer and fewer people are willing to open their homes to others. You know, we often focus on the inconvenience of welcoming others. But what we don't see is the incredible promise that lies beyond the inconvenience. Think about Abraham. When he welcomed God's messengers, he had no idea what was about to happen. But through that one act of hospitality, the angels prophesied that Sarah would give birth, and that Abraham would have a son of his own. If we are always caught up in our own struggles, our limitations, our lack, we may be missing out on some of the greatest blessings God has prepared for us. Of course, we don't show hospitality just to receive rewards. We do it because God values the love we show in giving. When we step out of our self-centeredness, our personal comfort, and our limitations, we learn to love his people more and welcome them as his children.